Welcome to the Why Not podcast, hosted by Chrissy and Yvonne. In a world where everyone asks why, we're here to ask, why not?
Hey everyone, my name is Yvonne and I'm 29. I'm a body positive feminist yoga teacher. Been on this journey of self-discovery for the last few years, really just learning how to take better care of myself, fill my life with self-love, and just learning how to be kind and gentle to others along the way. I'm really interested in all things mental health and personal development.
Hi, my name's Chrissy. I'm a personal trainer, gym enthusiast, and part-time equestrian. My goal here is to help people feel better about themselves by helping them strengthen their mindset and their body image. And I want them to be able to do things that they never thought they could believe possible. So if that sounds like something you want to do, I want to help you.
Good morning, everyone. You're very welcome to Why Not? Good morning, Chrissy.
Morning, Yvonne.
How are you?
I'm fabulous.
Good.
I don't know why I'm talking like this.
What happened?
I don't know. I broke.
What happened? You were normal a minute ago.
I realized you were going to ask me questions, so I panicked and then I took on a new persona.
That's fine. So today, Chrissy's in the hot seat. We are going to ask Chrissy the same 10 questions that I answered last week. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
For you.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to hear what you're going to say. I wrote down the questions, so I have them here in front of me.
Deadly.
And I think we should just get straight in.
Okay, let's go for it.
All right, so let's start off on a positive. The best phase of your life.
This is going to sound really lame, but now.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
Other than like the whole, lockdown situation, I think I've gotten to a point in my life where I am doing what I want. I'm with a really nice person. I know we rent, but I have my own place, and I have my lovely little pretty car. So I think, now I think it's probably one of the best phases of my life right now.
That's so good to hear. There's so much negative chat at the moment. It's so nice to hear someone who's just like really content.
Yeah, I'm really fed up with hearing everyone complain about everything. Sorry guys, I know everything's shit, but like if you look, you'll find some positives, and I think you need to do that more. So negative people.
Oh no, it's so good to hear that you are loving your life.
Yeah, I'm pretty content. Like obviously not everything is perfect, and I do have bad days still, but I definitely think there's more good days now than bad days, which I'm happy about.
Well, just to turn this on its head, what was the worst phase of your life?
Oh, let me see. So many. I don't know.
Dig deep.
Yeah, I hated school. That wasn't great. I probably my early 20s, from around about when I finished college, and I was working in retail, and not the retail was bad, but the manager there was a out and out bully, like being reported on more than one occasion. So he bullied me there, and I was in a really bad relationship that I stayed in way too long. And I'm not saying it was all their fault; it was my fault too. So yeah, that wasn't a good time. I'd say early 20s is probably not a good time for me.
Yeah.
I think everything started to swing after about 27, 28. I think. I don't know.
Inching closer towards the 30. You're like, I better start being happy now. I'm almost 30.
I'll be miserable by 30th birthday. I'll be like, woo, 30, and I'm like, no, go away. I'm old.
Yes, we are. We are old ladies.
Apparently, according to that TikTok I sent you, we're old if you were born in the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm like, excuse me?
That's hilarious. Like, we were born
Early 90s.
years ago. Oh man, like we really got old.
Nearly 10 years before that person is claiming people are old. I'm like, what?
I know. It's like, whoa. What happened?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us your favorite book. I know you're not much of a reader, so I'm gonna adapt this question. If it's not a favorite book, like your favorite something, like
Favorite something.
just, yeah, what's your favorite?
What's my favorite? Holly. For reference, Holly is my toy dog and sitting beside me, and I was like, I'm gonna say this right now.
Oh, yeah, well, that's a good one.
I suppose I used to read loads when I was a kid. I can't think of anything in the last like 10 years. Like I recently read Joe Schmidt's autobiography, which is really interesting. Like just it wasn't just a book about I was a rugby coach, it was all his mindset and how he does everything and how everything's planned to a T, and literally how even like so much more in rugby is planned than I realized, which is
Mm,
one of the reasons I love it, me and my plans. So I thought that was really interesting. Some of the quotes and some of the things that he learned over the years from like his family and just everything he was really interested in. And he always was like really surprised that people wanted to pick him as a coach for stuff, which I thought was very interesting, like very humble as well, for someone who was like probably the most successful Irish rugby coach ever. So that was the most recent one, I think. When I was a kid, I used to be betting. I remember you said that his Dark Materials last week as well. Thought they were great. The I've forgotten his name. What's his surname? Alex Rider
Adrian
books. They were
Mole.
great.
Oh,
The
sorry.
Storm.
I don't
I
know why
read one
I
of
thought you
Adrian.
were gonna say Adrian Mole. I just thought I read your mind, but I didn't.
We were close. It was Alex Rider. It was an A.
Yeah.
The Stormbreaker series. They were great. They made one movie that destroyed it.
No.
And Artemis Fowl. They were all class as well.
Yeah, I never got into Artemis Fowl. My mom liked them, I think. They
I
were
thought they were deadly.
might
I
give
think
you
I love a good like fantasy story
yeah.
when I was younger. Like
Mm.
Alex Rider was a teen spy, and obviously these Dark Materials are set in all sorts of areas, and Artemis Fowl was fairies and stuff. So that was all cool stuff. Like it wasn't like
Cool stuff.
they were cool fairies. They were police fairies.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it was fucking cool. I don't know how you didn't like them.
I don't even know if I read one. No, I think I did because I remember there was one in my house and it was like had a sparkly gold cover, and I think I tried to read it a few times because my mom was like, "You'll love them. They're brilliant," and I just couldn't get into it.
Oh, I have to try and remember. I'm gonna go and find out the names of like because they were like special forces or like special police fairies, and he made like like a SWAT team, but he
Yeah.
made the initials something to do with fairies, and it meant like they all meant something.
Oh.
So like I really need to go find out what they were because I thought I always love stuff like that where they play on words and they're actually like acronyms or whatever they are. Well, I can't remember the word, but like I always
Yeah.
think like that's so cool. I'm such a loser. I'm like, ah, look what they did with that.
No, that's awesome.
Like, they're a fairy, but they work for the fairy division, but fairy stands for this.
That's awesome. Would you ever consider like rereading books that you read as a child, as an adult?
Yeah,
Yeah, I love
definitely.
that. It's so like I've read The Velveteen Rabbit so many times now as an adult. I feel like I learn loads from kids' books. My Kindle has loads of kids' books on it. I really enjoy them.
It's also great that the writing's bigger and easier to read.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, it is like such a sense of achievement when you're like, I read a whole book today. It was 10 pages long, but I don't care. I read it.
I'm 29 and I like big writing in my books.
And pictures.
Oh, pictures, yeah.
Okay, next question. What are you most thankful for?
Oh, what am I most thankful for? I think my family. And the reason being is I think that they're quite supportive of me going out and trying to follow something that I want to do. Even though I know, like, say for instance, my parents would have been like 9 to 5ers their whole life. So I think it's harder for them in a sense, to back something like that when they know, like, oh, you could get a secure job, but they still try to, like, always support you, and they're always like, well done if you do anything, and they always ask you how you're getting on and stuff like that. And I know it's, especially for my mom, I think it's hard because she's always like, oh, look, you could get this, but, like, are you sure that's safe, but she will back you as well. So I think that, and I do take them for granted a little bit because I don't see them as much as I should. But yeah, I
it's
think
hard
that,
at the moment.
yeah, even though they live up the road, but, like, technically we're in lockdown, so I suppose that's my excuse at the moment. It's probably something I'm most thankful for.
Oh, that's so good. So I like this question, and I'm really interested in hearing what you're going to say. What
Okay.
is one thing people always misunderstand about you?
I don't know if this is in my head or if it's true, but I feel like people underestimate my intelligence because I'm a personal trainer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, as I said, I don't know if that's just in my head, but I do get the impression from time to time people probably think I'm a little bit stupider. But I do this job by choice, not because I don't have, like, the capacity to do other things. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, I know for a fact I could easily do a lot of stuff, and I retain a lot of information very easily. Like, I can learn stuff off by heart very quickly. But I just feel like that happens from time to time, or when I tell people something or I come out with something that I do, people are like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, well, what, is that hard? I didn't realize.
Yeah.
So
I
I
think
think
as
that's,
well, like being a personal trainer probably takes a lot more mental skills than people realize. Like you need to know so much.
yeah, it's not just like, hey, dude, let me help you lift weights. And yes, there's a lot of people like that who are just like picture takers. But at the end of the day, they can retain the stuff for it, like, as well. So it's not like, I know, I feel like it's one of those things that people tend to underestimate. They're like, oh, people as well seem surprised sometimes when I say I have a college degree as well.
Yeah.
Like, I did the college degree first and then I decided to go and do this. It's not like I did this and then I was like, had to struggle and try and get the college degree. Like, I got a 2-1 in that. It was, for me, I found it very easy.
Yeah. Two ones aren't easy to get.
Well, they are in communications, but but I suppose, like, I'm very good at writing essays and waffling and stuff like that as well. So it really helped in college.
Well, I can say just from me anyway, I don't know, can't speak for anyone else, but I've never thought that you were not intelligent. But I never had that opinion of personal trainers either, I guess. Like, yeah, I never would have
But
really thought that, but I'd say you do come up with that a lot.
yeah, like, I don't think people think I'm stupid, but I think people are surprised that I'm more intelligent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people think I'm really thick, but when I come out where I mention stuff like having that, like having a college degree, or that I, like, say for instance, I learn languages for fun, people are kind of like, really? And I'm like, yeah, why?
Yeah, that
Why
is
wouldn't I?
peculiar, but I think it's cool that you're like, "Ah, I'm just gonna learn a language right now. Why not?"
Yeah, I just do that for no reason, but it's like, it's fun as well for me. Like, there you go. See, I'm a loser. I think acronyms are cool, and I learn languages for fun.
Oh, you're just a little nerd.
When I eventually get through French, Russian is my next one.
Whoa, that's scary.
Funny enough, like, Russian is not hard. Like, I know a bit of Russian because I went out with a Russian guy for like 3 years when I was younger. Russian is not difficult, and the spoken Russian isn't that hard either. But the written Russian is just,
Is it different
like,
letters?
yeah, there's 36 letters in the Russian alphabet.
Okay.
That's crazy stuff. The problem with, like, you see, I could learn Russian phonetically really easily, but if I do it on Duolingo, it's gonna come up written, and that'll be really hard. So that'll be
You
interesting.
can do it. What is your biggest regret?
This will come back to the bad phase of my life. It's where I mentioned that I was in a relationship for a few years that I should have stayed. I should have left. That one, staying there longer than I should have.
Yeah.
And as I said, it wasn't all his fault. Like, I wasn't great in it either, but it wasn't good for either of us. It was like a toxic relationship. We even broke up at one point and then got back together for another, like, year and a half. And it was, yeah, like, ruined me. It wasn't good for them either. Turns out when I broke up with them as well, all my family hated them as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I was the kind of person who never made any effort to like. I had to go over to them, and they'd cause a fuss about coming to my house, and like they only lived in Malahide, and they wouldn't like make any effort, even like coming in to say hello to my parents when they were over or stuff like that. And it was just like if you brought them to a family function, it was big hoo ha, or they just wouldn't come. Or when I used to hang out with our mates, I used to go out on my own all the time. Like they never came out. It was just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So then, as well, in a sense, would get a little bit like reclusive as well because you weren't going want to spend time with them. So it was like one of those situations where, like, as if for both of us, I'm pretty sure they're in a much better place now as well. And I wish them well, but yeah, I realized how bad that was, and like how bad it was for both of us, and how it really like pushed me back in confidence wise a couple of years. And it's taken a lot to come back off the back of it, I think. And I think stuff like even like getting with Peter and the difference in that, and like how he gets involved and helps you out, you know what I mean, and knows all my family, and it's like completely different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what was I at? I wasted so much of my life there. But like, well, you learn from it. You learn if it wasn't a waste. But that I'd say is my biggest regret. Like, especially when I broke up with them once and then I got back home, that was just stupid.
Yeah. It
I
is
should have
though
stayed.
such a good lesson though for future relationships. Sometimes I think like you have to go through, well, you don't have to, but like often you go through these like super shitty relationships that teach you all the things that you are not okay with, so that when you go forward and you find this person who is like ticking the boxes, you're like, ah, these are the things
Yeah,
I should have been looking for.
I think as well it made me a little bit more, in a sense, standoffish when I first got with Peter. I was like, no, I'm gonna do this, and this is what it's gonna be, and it kind of worked out. Not that I
Yeah.
was like a bitch show or anything. I think I'm a little bit more like grounded with stuff. I'm like, well, no, and I'm a little bit more like I don't put up with stuff as much.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, as I said, like, and I like him to be like that as well. But he's too nice sometimes. He needs to give out too much.
Nah, Peter's sweet.
He's the one who like he bottles it up and then he gets drunk and gives out to me or something.
Me and Mark just kick each other until we're over it.
Yeah, like I'm like I can tell as well when he's mad, so I'll keep annoying him when he won't tell me. And then one day we'll be having a few drinks, he'll be like, "Rah, you didn't do this." And I'll be like, "Well, I asked you about it at the time, damn it."
Ah, alcohol, the truth serum.
It is the truth, girl.
Okay, I found this one hard. If you could change one thing in the world, what would it be?
I would bring world peace to the world.
You see, that's what you want to say, isn't it? Like, that is what everyone
Yeah, but like,
like.
I'm not a beauty queen.
Yes, you
They
are.
wouldn't even let me on stage. Oh, let me think of this. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I did think about these questions a little bit during the week.
Damn
I
it.
tried not to, but I was like, because they're the ones that make you go,
Things that make you
I.
go, hmm.
What was that from?
Was it from a McDonald's ad?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know
It
then.
was a sciencey related thing. Was it Brainiac or something?
Oh, Brainiac.
Yeah.
Fucking loved Brainiac. John Tickle. Wasn't that his name?
John Tickle, yeah.
I loved him.
I
Oh,
actually was when I said things that make you go, I was actually singing that in my head as well.
bring back Brainiac. What a show.
That was class.
Yeah, I
Was
loved
Richard
Brainiac.
thing on that as well?
Who?
From Top Gear, Richard. Oh, he's not in Top Gear anymore.
Oh, was he in it?
Hammond. Hammond.
Yeah.
I think he was in it as well. He was kind of one of the presenters in it.
I only remember John Tickle, I think, now, because he was the cutest.
Did he walk across Custard in Brainia?
He what?
Did he walk across Custard in Brainia?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What a show.
One thing I'd change about the world, I'd bring back John Tickle to walk across Custard.
I would anyway. Sorry, I'm interrupting your answers by talking about John Tickle.
You know your grand. I got on it as well. It wouldn't be a podcast if we didn't get sidetracked.
Yeah.
I think, actually, do you know what? I think I'll get rid of social media.
Oh, I love it.
The reason being is not just obviously we have the whole mental health issues associated with, all that's just the negativity on it, and it's breathing negativity. And I swear to God, like I've never been on Twitter, but I've heard Twitter's the worst for it. And Facebook is going down that route as well. And literally anything can be posted about it. Someone's commenting on it, moaning. And that is just getting so wearing. It's just like, Joe.ie posts a stupid quiz about countries and someone's giving out that I got one country wrong, but they're like, oh, Joe, I thought you were this, that, and the other. Or Joe.ie posts some information about like the American election. They're like, hey, you're just putting propaganda up, or, anything about coronavirus. It's a hoax. It's like, I'm just like, it's just tiring. It's like, lads, get your head out of your asses, find something better to do than complain to randomers, to some random post about nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it goes down as low as even seeing like Leinster put up discount code for their jerseys last week, 11% off, and someone was like, I wouldn't buy those Adidas jerseys if you gave them for me for free. Like, no one asked you, fuck off.
Yeah, it is strange as well that people like take clickbait so seriously, like it's trying to get you to click on the page, and
Yeah.
then they get all upset and offended by it, and you're like, they're putting it up purely to get traffic on this page, because then that's how they get paid. And by you commenting on it that you're offended by it, all you're doing is actually paying the page.
Yeah.
Like, people just don't seem to really get it.
I hate when clickbait gets me.
Oh, it always gets me. I fall for clickbait all the time. Fuck it. Sometimes I know I'm falling for it, but I'm like, I still want to see the gross picture of the toe being cut off by something. And I'm like, totally worth it.
I get that with the rugby all the time. Like, it'll be like, this Irish player will miss the autumn internationals, and they'll have a photo of them in line, and it's like 3 really big players, and it's always the guy on the end who like shows up for Ireland, who's probably on the subs bench or might only be in the squad, and I'm like, oh, I want to know who it is. It better not be that guy.
Oh, clickbait is sometimes awesome. It's like devastating news for planet Earth. And I'm like, oh, what now? Click in, and it's like, maybe it might be cold this winter.
Yeah. And you're all mad when he got you, but it's your own fault. And I wouldn't complain about it, but like, that's completely my fault.
I know. Yeah. I wonder what a social media free world would look like.
It'd be interesting.
Jesus, I honestly think it would be awesome.
Bring back Bebo. I don't remember much negativity on Bebo.
Oh, I don't know now. You know the way you could give people your love? You could give them...
Yeah, that was a big one, alright, yeah.
Yeah, like if your best friend didn't give you your love that day, oh, that's like, you wouldn't be happy.
I remember the top 16.
Oh my God, yeah. That was really important to people as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you weren't in someone's top 16 and you thought you should have been, like, your feelings would be hurt.
Yeah, and you'd be like showing off your mates or another top 16 stuff.
I know, yeah. You see, these things, like, this is where it all started. Like, those things used to hurt. Like, depending on how popular you were and how many friends you had and all these things, like how many likes you had or loves or hearts or whatever. You remember the way you'd see how many hearts you'd gotten on your profile?
Yeah.
What was that called? Like, your love?
Yeah.
You give someone your love.
Yeah.
I can't even remember.
Without one a day, I think then they upped it to 3.
Yeah, you could do 3 loves a day. And
yeah,
like, well, I have to do one for my boyfriend, I have to do one for my best friend, and I have to do one for this person. But then the other person would be upset because you're like, you gave her your love and you didn't give me your love. And like, if
we'd
I
have to tell them during the week, like, you're getting my love, or I'll give it to you tomorrow.
Like, but these things, like, it seems that it's so silly now looking back, but like, honestly, people got into fights and like got upset about that stuff.
I know, yeah.
So, Yeah. Although, do you
I
know
was just
what I
thinking about
love?
the cool skins you could have on people.
Yeah, that's
Not gonna lie.
say,
In your
I
video.
used to spend way too long like pimping my profile.
Yeah, same.
It like really like you could express yourself through that and your flashbox.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, I loved that.
Flashbox class.
But you know what? Like you could actually that's the difference. Like obviously Facebook and all that like are more uniform, but like you could actually get a hint to someone's personality by looking at their profile,
Yeah, that's true.
which was kind of cool. What is on your bucket list?
This is a tough one as well because I don't really have a bucket list.
Mm.
I don't think I don't have anything that I'm like I fucking love to do that before I die. Obviously, I'm not planning on dying anytime soon, so it's hard to make a bucket list when
Yeah.
it's a really hard one. I think I just want loads of dogs, and that would do me.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really really boring because like I don't want to do like anything crazy like bungee jumping or I'd like to travel to different places, but obviously that's going to take a while.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I couldn't afford it anyway, so I've no excuse really, to be honest. Could have maybe gone to like Liverpool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think I'd like to go like see places like Australia and stuff, or in South America, and that's all I can think of.
Awesome. No, that's a great bucket list. I think it's also good to not too much of a bucket list because it's like you're living in the now and you're not living for these like 10 things that you have to do before you die. You're like enjoying your life, which is the main thing.
That's true. Yeah,
What would you most like to learn?
Russian. Yeah, I don't actually know, but I think I'd love to be fluent in a second language. Well, I'm not fluent. I know bits of loads of different things, which gets easier the more you learn different bits. You get loads of similar things. But I think, yeah, being fluent in a second language would be cool. Like, the closest thing I have to that is Irish, which I love. And I know it's kind of useless, but I love being able to speak Irish. So I'm like, yeah.
Can you speak Irish properly?
I could probably hold a conversation if I thought about it, yeah.
That's amazing.
I'd have to think back and like relearn stuff. But yeah, I think I'd be all right. And I like it might be a little bit basic. Some bits might be a bit silly, but yeah.
Mm.
But I really like Irish and I'm really interested in it. I'm like, here I am being a loser again. The other day, the Leinster game was on TG Car and Air Sport, and I specifically watched it on TG Car so I could listen to the commentary in Irish.
Oh, that's lovely.
But I love hearing. I think it's really funny hearing English sayings in a different language.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like stupid things I'll hear. Like I remember hearing on the rugby once, like he was like, "Oh, kicking big jazz," and it was like lovely little kick, and I was like, "That sounds so funny in Irish."
That's gas.
So like so sometimes I just love hearing that, and then like I love listening to it, and I understand like pretty much all of it. So it's kind of good to, I suppose, keep it up in a sense.
There's some really funny phrases in Irish, isn't there? Like I've forgotten what they are now, but they used to make me laugh so much in school. Like if you're this could be wrong, I'm definitely like making this up, but it's something like this. Like say if you're being naive, they'll call you like a white fox or something. Like it makes
Yeah.
no sense. It's like they're really weird phrases, but I love them and they only make sense in that language.
There's one I saw ages ago. I remember when we were in sixth year, one of the girls doing Irish grinds and she had her notes with her. And this is like always stuck in my mind because it's one of the funniest things I've ever read. And the English translation was "I hate it with a passion," and the Irish was "Bavarlum on Cop Mar of Na A," which literally translates to "I prefer a dead cat over it."
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to use that on my oral somehow. How am I going to get that there?
Oh my god, that's the best. That's so good. Irish is hilarious.
I remember as well, I saw one of the phrases if you were doing the like Mo Keneally, the conditional tense.
Yeah.
And it was like, what the question was, what would you do if you won the lottery? And one of the answers was, I'd buy a castle. And I saw that, I was like, that's what I've used outside, I'd buy a castle. And my teacher asked me in school, and I was like, yeah, I'd buy a castle. And she was like,
buy a castle.
what else would you do? I was like, should I? That's it, I'd buy a castle. And she was like, what? And I was like, I want a castle. I'd buy a castle. She was just looking at me like I had 10 heads. I was like, this was funnier in my head than it came out. And everyone in the class just stared at me. But I was like, oh, I like that answer. I'd buy a castle. Who doesn't want a castle? That doesn't sound ridiculous at all.
Well, it's a fair choice. I mean, it's your money.
Yeah.
I remember
Would you not give me 30? Nope.
I want a castle. In my Irish oral, when they did the Mochaní with me, they what would I do if I was president? And I said that I would make houses. And I was like, yep, because there's a homeless crisis. I'd make houses. And I don't think I said build, I said make. But I was like, great answer, Yvonne. Perfect.
That's brilliant. I love that.
I thought it was
houses.
Make houses. Yep. Okay. Where are we? Okay, we've 2 questions left. So your penultimate question is, what is your biggest fear?
What is my biggest
Go.
fear?
Mm.
Death. No, it's not. Not being able to make a difference, I think, in a positive way. And I don't mean like to tens of thousands of people, but like to the people around me. And like if I can't help them make their life a little bit better, I'd be really sad about that. So I think I'm afraid of not doing that for people, like in a meaningful way, like not just like my existence makes their life better, but you know what I mean, like doing things for them, helping them out, being able to help them, stuff like that. I think that is my biggest fear.
Oh. Oh no, you've made my life. You've made my life better. You've helped me in a positive way.
One down.
One down. Yeah, but genuinely, because like I would have had a super negative attitude towards fitness before we started training.
Yeah.
And now I've a generally really positive attitude towards fitness and gyms and working out and stuff, which is super. Like that actually was really like helpful in my life, you know?
I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, for sure.
We aren't bad in gyms.
But no, but like that's a big thing, you know? Like
Yeah.
that was a big mindset shift for me, you know, like that's
Yeah.
and I honestly don't think it would have changed. I don't think there was anyone else out there who would have gotten it like you did and actually be able to like positively shift my mindset into like a good place. And it really has made a difference to my life because now the gym is fun.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Help me subside my fear.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I understand what you mean. Like that is a big fear. Are you ready for your next question?
I don't know. I can't remember what it is.
What is your biggest passion? Or what are you passionate about?
What am I passionate about? Like guinea pigs.
Good answer.
I think like that goes back to my biggest fear. I think having a positive impact on people's lives is my biggest passion. And that's not necessarily just due to fitness. I love, obviously, that's probably one of my biggest passions as well. But I think trying to be positive and nice and not nice, I'm a bitch sometimes, but
No, you're so nice.
like I know obviously you can't always be happy and stuff like that, but if like that with you and people around me, if I can make you maybe think differently about something and you feel good about it afterwards, I think I'm most passionate about that. And it's not necessarily just fitness, but fitness rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. And
what a good
I
thing
used
to be
be
passionate about.
I used to be such a moany bitch, and now I've changed.
Yeah, I think it makes it easier, doesn't it, when like you've been through it. Like so if you would have had like a lot of like negative opinions, negative thoughts when you were younger, and then you were able to turn them around and change them into positive, now that's probably why you're so passionate about it, because you went through it yourself.
Yeah, definitely. A little bit of a snap happened at one point. It was like I couldn't deal with it anymore. It just snapped, and I was like, I need to do something about this.
Was it like an all of a sudden kind of thing?
I kind of feel like it was in a sense because it's been so bad for so long that I was like, I need to I can't go like this anymore. And then I just started listening to different things about changing your mindset and learning about it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think it was kind of like a boom when it happened.
That's really powerful though, because I think for a lot of people, like that's just so hard. They probably wouldn't actually even have the self-awareness to realize that their mindset was kind of to their own detriment. So it's actually really amazing that you were able to, you know, see that and actually change it, and for it to be like a sudden shift. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think I just got sick of being miserable all the time.
Mm,
I was like, something has to change, and the thing that had to change was me.
yeah.
Like, it wasn't anyone else's fault. Like, I couldn't keep blaming everyone else for everything. It was time to take ownership of it, I think. And that's the problem. I think you need to take ownership of it when you're miserable, or it's not everyone else's fault.
Yeah.
You know, everything, you can change everything. You hate your job, you can change. I know you can, like, you might feel financially fair for fine, but then you can change how you think about your job and stuff like that, or you don't like where you are, you can change that, and once you realize that, it makes a big difference. Or you
Yeah,
can
no.
change how you feel about everything.
Like I've noticed, right, in this lockdown. Now, I'm not going to say it's easy. It's not. Like I think I was okay for a couple of weeks, and now it's starting to take its toll, and I'm starting to get frustrated, and I really want to be back at work. But the last lockdown, I was way more of a slave to the rules. I was just like, oh, I feel shit. Like, this is terrible. This is really bad. This time, I'm like, all right, I've been like volunteer. Well, I've been applying for lots of volunteer roles. Nothing has actually worked out yet because so many of them are not going ahead. But like, even the fact of like searching for the roles is like something to do. I'm gonna donate blood. Like loads of things. I'm just trying to like get going for myself for the next few weeks to just like keep me going and keep me busy and keep me positive and like actually giving back, or giving my blood, all these things like are positive things for myself. And I think it's because this time I was like, right, you need to take action, because the last time there was a lockdown you came out of it a broken woman. Let's not do that this time. um,
Yeah,
and yeah, now, not saying that was easy, it's not. I'm still struggling through a little bit, but like I feel like I'm doing better this time.
I get you. Yeah, I think I'm the same as well. Like, I definitely had a bad week last week, but when I look back at it, like, I set myself little mini goals every day, and I pretty much completed all them. I
Mm.
didn't necessarily do the bigger things that I was like, I should be doing, but I actually got a lot done when I reflect back on it. And I was like, I wouldn't have done that last time.
Yeah.
So there's like, I feel like I'm a lot better this week, and I kind of have a bit of a better head on me. That said, I didn't get up and train this morning like I should have, but I'll get it done today. I've got so much time in the day.
Yeah, there's so many hours left in the day to do training.
But like, I'm trying to do that, even like still get up early-ish, get my training done early, then like have some food, do other bits and pieces, maybe have a nap depending on my humor, and then like get a lot done. So it's definitely better this time, I think.
Yeah, it's better and worse. Like it's better in the sense that I think I kind of was like, right, I need to figure it out a bit more, and I need to like not just like aimlessly roam through the house and be like, oh my god, lockdown. I need to like do something.
Yeah,
It's worse in the sense that I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I was just kind of getting myself back on track and like feeling good again, and like kind of had my mental health and my physical health back in check. And now it's like, ah, and here's another lockdown. Here you go,
yeah,
go
I totally
crazy
get
bitch.
that. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Don't worry.
Yeah, but we're surviving, and to be honest, like we're halfway through, aren't we?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah, so we can do it.
We can do it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going back to work a lot though.
Yeah, there's a lot of day in the day when you don't work.
So much day.
I know.
Like, how do retired people deal with their lives?
This is why they pick up so many little odd jobs and do random stuff around the house.
I am going to never be unemployed, I think, when I'm retired. I am just going to be like, I will work till I'm 100.
I'm going to make loads of money and retire when I'm 50 and then go traveling because I'm not having children. Haha.
All of you will be stuck paying for your children's college fees. Chrissy will be
Idiot.
free. I'll just make my children my job. I'll be like, okay, let's form a family choir, family dance troupe. We'll perform for your Auntie Chrissy because she has no children of her own to perform for her.
Yeah, and just she'd be like, "Oh, you are so great."
You'll
I'll be a class auntie. I swear to God.
You'll be like
Take them
sipping
out
the
for you,
glass
load
of
them up with
wine.
sugar, give them back, and then they're your problem.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'd say we will leave it there because we've rambled on for a little bit longer than usual.
We went down a different hole for a second again.
We usually do.
So, before we go, Yvonne, can we find you? You appear. She sporadically appears on social media to
Yeah.
promote her Depop.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not really there. Sometimes I install the app literally just to be like, hey, you can buy my shit on Depop if you want to, and then I'll uninstall the app genuinely. So if you tried to get in touch with me, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not even reading messages or anything because, like, I just don't even care. But if you want to follow my Depop, it's at Yvonne Hega, and I'm selling my lockdown art and some clothes and random things. If you're interested, help a girl out. I'm just trying to make some money.
For the feed my plants.
Yeah, I'm actually, it's so weird that you said that, right? I'm sitting here looking at Jackie, which is my peace lily, and one of her leaves has moved of its own accord a few times during this hour.
Nice.
Like,
Jackie.
yeah, like Jackie, well, I know she's alive, but she's alive and kicking. I know some plants do that, like their leaves move. But like this is like she's alive. Like it's a bit weird.
You gotta have a Franken plant.
Yeah, Jackie, are you okay? I don't know. Maybe she's like, feed me, I need some water. I'll give you some water in a minute, all right? I'm podcasting right now.
God damn it, bitch. Be calm.
Calm your leaves.
Oh yeah, and also if you are looking for me, you'll find me on the gram. I'm Chrissy H Fitness, and then I'm also still on TikTok at Chrissy H Fit.
Amazing.
Yeah, that is everything, I think.
Well, Chrissy, thank you so much for sharing all that stuff with us today, giving us a little moment to pick your brain.
Thank you for asking me.
No worries. We will chat to you all next week. Thank you for tuning in. And
thank you again for listening to the Why Not podcast. Because remember, in a world where everybody asks why, we're here to ask why not.